Test planning. Test planning phase in software test process. Say I will provide brief explanation. Concentrate. Anyhow, it's not part of our syllabus. See, in order to understand the phases of software test process, this is the format. See, input are references. Input are references. Can you tell me, Madhvi, what are the input documents for test planning phase in software test life cycle?
Test strategy.
Okay. Before that, primary thing, requirements is primary, na?
Yes, sir.
Say requirements. Say a document name, whatever it might be. Some companies use SRS, software requirement specification. Some companies use URS, user requirement specification, CRS, PRD, product requirement document, etc. Names, whatever it might be, requirement specification. Okay, but official term, widely using term is SRS, software requirement specification. Okay, I'm just in generic term, requirements. Next, okay, based on project plan only, test lead or team lead creates test plan. So project plan, who creates project plan? Project manager. See, for entire project, development, testing, all activities. See, based on project plan, test lead or team lead prepares test plan. Next, continue, Madhavi. Test
Strategy, sir.
Test strategy. What is test strategy? It is company level document. What is test strategy?
It says like how we are planning to do the test and when we are planning to do the test and what level of test we do.
See, it describes all test levels and test types and test design techniques within those levels. See, a final conclusion, test strategy describes how to test. Okay, na Ritesh, it is company level document. It is for multiple projects, not for single project.
Yes, sir.
It describes how to test. Suppose for our project, 2 test types required as per requirements. Functional testing, next usability testing. We implement functional test strategy and usability test strategy from company test strategy document. See, test strategy describes all test levels, all test types for the company. Suppose for our project only functional testing and usability testing, we just implement these 2 test types from test strategy document. Suppose for another project, functional testing, performance testing and usability testing required. For that project, the test lead implements functional test strategy, performance test strategy and usability test strategy. Okay, see, these are the mandatory documents or references for test planning phase. Next, some optional design docs. See, if design docs available, then you can easily understand the application flow of the application under test. Next, process guidelines. process guidelines, docs, one or more. Next, suppose if our company having any corporate standards, see corporate standards, docs, etc. etc. Say some companies prepare use cases from requirements or from user stories. Some companies prepare use cases from user stories. Use case based on use cases, we can generate test cases. Use case is more elaborated document than requirements. Okay. Anyhow, if we have requirement specification, you no need to use cases. If you have use case document, you can directly use use case documents. See, these are the mandatory and optional documents for test planning phase. Okay, now Madhumati, any query?
No, sir.
This is input or references. Virat,
I'm good, sir.
okay. Next, tasks. Tasks. What are the important tasks? Supriya, list out the tasks, sequence required, maintain the sequence,
Test estimations.
test estimation. First, before estimation, understanding, it is also one of the task. Just a minute.
Understanding the
Understanding
requirements.
and analyzation also required, and analyzing the requirements. Analyzing the requirements. Next, risk analysis, feasible study, risk analysis. Next, see test strategy implementation. Actually, it is one task. We implement test strategy for our project. You can find that field in test plan document. In test plan document, you can find that field, one of the field, test strategy. Say other fields in test plan document, features to be tested, features not to be tested, exit criteria, entry criteria, etc. Okay, test strategy, implementation. Observe Supriya, first
Yes, sir.
requirement. Next, strategy means how to test. Then estimation, isn't it?
Okay, sir.
Based on strategy,
Implementations, we do
estimations
the
vary na.
Yes, sir.
Suppose general requirement, observe. Our requirement is going to another city. That is our requirement. Next, strategy, how to go? By car, by flight,
By what?
on foot, etc. See, based on strategy, estimations vary, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, test strategy implementation. Then test
Test
estimations.
estimations.
It is high level task. Test estimations. Here, what are the important considerable factors? First one, scope of the project. Next, time. Next, available resources,
Resources.
uh, human resources and environment resources. Resources. Next, one of the factor, budget also, budget, etc. Here, try to understand, Saloni, try to understand the scope of the project. Suppose we have two projects. One is banking project, another is ERP project, enterprise resource planning. Suppose industry automation. Suppose in that ERP project, you can find modules like HR, payroll, sales and distribution, stores, marketing, etc. Suppose ERP application failed for one day in customer environment, production environment. Problem is there, but all that industry resources, HR, marketing, sales, stores, etc., under the control of that organization. Okay, after rectifying the problem, they can input the data, attendance, etc., employees attendance, etc. Problem is there, but they can rectify the problem. Why? All that industry resources under the control of that industry. Suppose banking application, suppose ATM banking application failed for one day. See, all the customers, suppose one bank, ICICI Bank, it has suppose 4 crore customers, example. All the bank customers not under the control of the bank. See, if any banking application fails for 1 hour or one day, customers get dissatisfaction. See, final conclusion, financial applications having more scope than other applications. Getting this point, Saloni? Madhumati, respond quickly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting this point, scope of the application.
So financial have more scope, you
Yes,
said, right?
see, every software application is important.
Okay.
Customer point of view, every software application is important. But financial applications having more scope than other applications. Getting?
Yeah, yes, sir.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Madhavi, getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Test the estimations by considering scope of the project, time, resources, and budget. Just a minute. Budget. Test lead prepares estimations. Next, two tasks. Virat, observe. You are manual tester now. Team formation, test plan documentation. Two tasks. Two different tasks. Which one is first? Test plan documentation or team formation?
Team formation first,
Yes,
sir.
team formation first. See, some companies may not follow the formal process, but as per industry standards, team formation is first. Next, test plan documentation. Why? For test plan documentation, all team members' contribution is required. For test plan documentation, all team members' contribution required. See, team formation. Team formation. Next, test plan. Test plan documentation. Test plan documentation. Observe, test planning. Test planning. It is phase. Here, test plan. It is document. Next, configure management. Configuration management planning. See, it is optional, but nowadays important. Configuration management is one of the important and more powerful task. This configuration management not only for software testers, also for all stakeholders of the project. It is required for developers, testers, and business analysts, etc. See, actually, it is more important for developers than software testers. Okay, we also use configuration management. Nowadays, some tools also available for configuration management. For example, VSS, Visual Source Safe, Microsoft Visual Source Safe, etc. Okay, first of all, what is configuration management? Are creating and organizing all configurable items, creating, storing and organizing all configurable items is called configuration management. Creating, storing and organizing all configurable items. Okay, what is configurable item? See, what software and hardware we use during testing and what documents we produce during testing all comes under configurable items. What software and hardware we use and what documents we produce all come under comes under this configurable items. Getting this point, Saloni? Configurable items in software testing.
Yes, sir.
What are the configurable items in software testing?
Creating, storing, and organizing all configurable items.
What are configurable items? What software and hardware we use and what documents we produce during testing. Example, test plan, test cases, test data, defect reports, test summary report, all. Isn't it?
Yes.
Next, traceability. Traceability matrix. Traceability matrix documentation. Say, test lead creates traceability matrix document, but test lead creates traceability matrix document. Testers update the document throughout the life cycle. See, this traceability matrix not only in test planning phase, we need to update in test design phase and test execution phase. See, observe final conclusion. Test lead or team lead prepares traceability matrix document. Test lead creates traceability matrix document. Testers means team members update this document throughout the life cycle. First of all, what is traceability matrix? Can you tell me, Virat?
Traceability matrix
What is the
generally
purpose of traceability matrix document? Purpose?
requirements that matches with our test cases.
Not match. Mapping.
Mapping.
Matching is different. Mapping is different. Okay. Mapping test cases with requirements. Mapping test cases with requirements so that we can understand all the requirements are covered or not and any duplicates are not, etc. Okay. Next, define test environment setup. Test environment setup. Say who defines test environment setup? Test lead. Test lead defines test environment setup. What to install. Next, who implements test environment? Technical support people, network administrator or system administrator, technical support people. The designations depends on company. See, technical support people implement test environment. They know how to install. Test lead knows what to install. Technical support people knows how to install. Next, testers, team members verify the test environment setup. Verify whether it is working correctly or not. See here, 3 steps. Observe. Define test environment setup by test lead. Next, implement test environment setup by technical support people. Next, verify test environment setup by team members. Say testers verify test environment setup at test execution level, not in planning phase. In test execution phase, testers verify the test environment setup before test execution. Okay. See, these are the important tasks in test planning phase of software test process or software test life cycle. Here, output. Here, primary output is test plan document. Test plan document, primary output. See, it is input for remaining phases. Okay. Now, can you tell me, Supriya, what are the important tasks in test planning phase?
Yes, sir. Understanding and analyzing the requirements
Ah,
and risk analysis.
good. Continue.
And then test strategy implementation, then test estimations, then team formation, then
Test plan documentation. Next.
Then configuration management planning,
Next.
then traceability matrix documentation, then define test environment setup. And
Okay.
the final output is test plan document.
Yes, say output is test plan document is primary output. Any queries, Ritesh?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Next phase. Next one.